Modern Horizons 3 continues to shake up the market. Today's video we discuss Nadu. This card is not just a Toucan Sam wannabe, this card has cards being bought out because of how good this card is. Let's talk about what's going on and let's discuss how much these cards have spiked. A new set releases and mayhem ensues. Welcome back everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A reminder guys, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell, new content every day. Now let's talk about what's going on, because I didn't actually see this one coming, but it doesn't matter. The numbers are there, and this is something we need to cover because there's a lot of ins and outs that go with these kinds of price spikes based on new cards coming out. First, let's find out what card's causing the trouble. This is Nadu, the Winged Wisdom from Modern Horizons 3, and yes, I heard it looks like Toucan Sam, and I can understand why. It kind of reminds me of cards from Amonkhet, but that's just me. Now, let's take a look at the card. Nadu, the Winged Wisdom. I'm sure you guys all know this card. It's being talked about everywhere, but we gotta go over the stats anyway. It is a 3/4 legendary bird wizard for 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 other. I mean, Simic, right? Okay, it got flying. Creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put that card onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. This ability triggers only twice each turn. Now, there's a lot going on with that card. I understand, guys. I understand. Because the twice each turn really doesn't matter in Commander, does it? Because everyone gets a turn, and there's lots of ways of triggering targeted effects, and that's what's happening, okay? But this card is also equally lethal in Modern, which means there's a lot of sales going on, and a lot of interested parties in buying a lot of these cards. But the cards being bought, the ones I want to talk about today, there's only 2 of them, but it's the price spike associated with these old cards that just makes me gotta get in there and say, hold your horses and let's discuss it. So let's jump to our first card. This is the Sea King's Blessing. This was on the list a few weeks ago for that deck construction. I forget what it was. Somebody can remind me, but it was a deck thing with like fish stuff. But take a look at the card closer, okay? The Sea King's Blessing is an instant for 1 blue. It's an instant speed spell. Changes the color of 1 or more target creatures to blue until end of turn. You choose which and how many creatures are affected. So basically, this just gives you a way to cause things to trigger. But not only that, when you take a look at this card and you see just how high the price has gone, okay, this thing has gone nuclear when you look at it in the last monthly change, okay? It's gone up $89.31. And that's just it. It's not the only card, because there's another card, and this one I remember from being a kid, and that is going to be the Sylvan Paradise. Okay, Sylvan Paradise basically does the exact same thing. Take a closer look at the card. Sylvan Paradise for 1 green. It's an instant. Changes the color of 1 or more target creatures to green until end of turn. You choose which and how many creatures are affected. Cost to tap, maintain, or use the special ability of target creatures remains entirely unchanged. It changes the color, but what this does, along with Sea King's Blessing, is this allows us to target. And as soon as you target something, that means the Winged Wisdom is going to go off. It means you are going to get the game effect you want to have happen. And here's the best part. You don't have to do it on your turn. You can do it on someone else's turn. And there are so many ways of making sure the right card is at the top of your deck in Commander that this should not be ignored. These cards, they may have been ignored for the last 20 years because nobody plays with that stuff, but when you find a card that gets born and created by Wizards of the Coast that just fits perfectly with Simic, 1 for green, 1 for blue, and 1 other, and you have cards that go 1 for green, 1 for blue, and they cost 1, and you can do this on someone else's turn, and you can target multiple creatures of yours, this is just amazing for Commander players, amazing for people who held on to these cards, but it's not the only story, because this is just the beginning. These buyouts that have happened, the desire to have these cards isn't just going to end. People who build this Commander deck, unless Nadu gets banned at some point, they're going to want to continue to buy this card, which means the price won't be as negatively affected over time as one might expect, because people who have bought this card at this price level tend not to forget. They tend to want to hold on to the card because they paid such a high price to get it. And here's what I mean. Sylvan Paradise has gone up 697.87% in the last 30 days. This is insane to see how popular it's become. And some people, if you look, there are early adopters who recognize this card's value, and they started to buy it at a very low price. Others caught on, other content creators, other people had the idea, and then the floodgates opened, and it's no better for Sea King's Blessing. This card from May 28th to June 19th of 2024 has gone up over 2,086.68%. This thing has gone up so much, it blew my mind when I actually did the math on it and saw what has happened. It went from being $1 or $2 to where it is. This value point is something players are not likely going to forgive or forget. They bought it at this point. They're not going to sell it for less anytime soon. And that is something that will carry forward. Price memory, I've always talked about with you guys. It's a very harsh thing. It's very brutal and it's very real. What Nadu has done, it's opened up old cards to new players. I love the idea, the concept behind that. But the price point at which these cards are being sought out and paid for brings it to a whole other level. The artwork on the old cards is great. The playability of these cards can't be denied, especially in Commander. We are going to be having turn after turn. I mean, let's face it, Nadu is going to really interrupt gameplay when you're going to be drawing multiple cards over and over on everybody's turn based on how you put together a deck. Let's not forget that there are so many ways of looking at cards, so many ways of scrying ahead to make sure the right cards appear at the right time, that this is just going to be something entirely crazy to watch unfold, not now, but in the next 6 months. The real damage, the real foretelling of what's about to happen, these are great little moments in time where we look at the sales, look at the listings, and we wonder if the price will hold. Well, some of these prices are already going to dip, but they won't go back down to where they were. It's not going to be a $5 card, especially if Nadu doesn't get banned and becomes more popular. And Wizards will recognize that popularity. They will look at what cards people played with, built with, and won with, and with that information and armed with that information, they will breed new Commander cards into the format. They will bring us new cards that will play along these lines, and it doesn't just have to be for a card like Nadu. When they see that Nadu is this popular, they will breed other cards from other color wheels, and you'll get a lot more of this. Stay tuned, because this is not going to end. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's something to be expected now. And being expecting and knowing it's going to happen means if you're paying attention, you should start looking for other cards in other colors, maybe old, maybe new, that do the exact same thing. And it's not for now. It's for 5 years from now. Those people who look around the bell curve and see what's around the corner before everybody else and speculate on cards like this, they are going to do that. They're going to do the research, look at the cards, look at the concepts and designs being adopted, and they will spec on a couple of bucks and buy 100 copies of something. Small time investment for a lot of people. They'll put those cards aside and they will wait to see if that egg comes to fruition, to see if it hatches into something amazing. If not, they've still got some cards on the side. If it comes around, they make thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you're one of those people that likes the idea of Nadu, likes the idea and concepts of it maybe coming to a different color and different ideas inside the game, these are cards you're going to want to look at that do the same type of thing, but in different colors. I'll probably do another video when I have more time to research it and find a selection of cards to let people know some of the options available. If somebody already hasn't done it by then, I'll probably take a chance at that and see if we can have some fun with it, but at least it'll give you guys an inkling of what's out there. Either way, I found this an amazing thing to watch unfold, and it happened so quickly within a 30-day time span. This is what we faced off with. And I have so many people I know, friends alike, and people I've just seen at the LGS, all talking about the cards they've purchased with Nadu to build these Commander decks. And they just love the idea behind it. They love playing it. And you know what? It's a game. It's a great time to have it and try it. But I've learned that my Commander levels may not be up to the task. So I've had to ramp up my building, same as many of you probably will. And it's this race to play catch up, which can feel a little bit daunting. But you know what? Don't let it get you down. Because if too many people get Nadu, Wizards will fix it for us. They'll ban it. I just know it. When they get this way, like, oh, we don't want to, but it's ruining it for everyone. I'll be curious to see how it plays. You guys are going to let me know, though. You guys are going to say, how crazy do you think this is, Moxman? And you will either put down ideas for me saying, have you looked at these cards? Or you can tell me how insane this is and that they should ban the card preemptively before it gets too widespread. I can't wait to see what your concepts, ideas are. Let me know what you think. Slam some comments down, and I look forward to seeing you guys for another amazing video tomorrow. This was awesome. Guys, these kind of price spikes when a new set comes out, it gets the blood pumping. MTG Finance and seeing where things go, I just didn't see these two cards spiking this way. I just didn't look into it. It's amazing. How many other people missed it? There's a lot. I guarantee it, and they're just kicking themselves. Thanks again for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons I have on my channel supporting me each and every day. Because of those patrons and YouTube membership members, daily uploaded content is made possible here on the channel with the Moxman each and every day. So thanks again to my supporters, thanks again for being here, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow with another video. $2,086%. If you'd bought that card for a couple of bucks and had 100 copies, you would have made thousands of dollars. How does that feel? Welcome back to the Ramble and the Jamble! And yes, stickers are being made. So, let's think about this as a concept design on what Wizards of the Coast may take going forward. You've made to the end of the video. I'm going to give you a little more insight. Wizards is well aware of every card that sells. They know the most popular decks. They know most mechanics being played. They may curb them a bit to make them not so disgustingly powerful, but as you can see, Nadu is a step beyond. I didn't pay much attention to the Toucan Sam right away. I hadn't faced off against it. I have since then, several times. Throwbolt cannot keep pace, and it's a pretty fast deck. It has to be ramped up in ways I never thought I would need to do, just to stand a chance. Now, in a 4-player game, of course, that's always different. A lot of politics going on, but it's something to keep in mind that Wizards is aware of, which means you could have some kind of black-red version. You could have a white-black version. Who knows? It doesn't have to be. It could be a zombie version of it. You could have a squirrel version. You could have a kobold version, a thrall version. We have choices. It all depends on the path Wizards wants to take and when they want to kind of sow the seed of value. Keep that stuff in mind. Look at these old cards. I know I will be. And if you're on my channel and you have questions, email me. I will help you guys out, because I am going to be looking diligently this weekend, okay? Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. You guys rock, you know it's true. Now, I have work to do. I have work. And by the way, in case you guys missed this the other day, there you go. There you go. And, of course, there you go. There you go. But they're not mine. They're going in the Patreon box. That's right. This one will have a proxy, but it's going in the Patreon box. I'll mention it again probably on the live stream, but 2 more cards coming in, guys, because you know what? You gotta have fun on this channel. Way to go, patrons. Way to go, YouTube membership members. We're gonna rock this bad boys out. I'll see you guys soon. I don't know why my hands went up. I had to put my hands somewhere. Remember like the Ricky Bobby? My hands, put your hands down. Okay, put my hands go back up.